I was able to sneak in an off-stream 4-2 ninth place tiebreaker with a brand new version of Lurrus PO featuring the Lord of the Rings card, Fourth Airlingus. All right, welcome back, vintage gamers, to a Saturday afternoon challenge. I actually was able to play a Thursday challenge off stream with a little brew I came up with. This is me working on a Lurrus PO deck, but also taking some inspiration from some ideas that Unlucky Monkey has presented in the past year or so. Back during the height of Urza's Saga, Unlucky Monkey had like a Tamiyo PO Turbo Volt Key version, and then just recently played a bit of a Wheels Turbo Artifact deck with Fourth Airlingus as the main win condition, and it makes a lot of sense here. You have 4 Ponder, and Fourth Airlingus kind of just acts as a tendrils, but tendrils that you can sometimes cast for 3 and still be good. This has been really good. Like I said, I played on Thursday. I placed 9th on breakers. I missed out on the second tiebreaker again. All of my opponents who lost in the last round, and I missed out on breakers, but that's okay. You know, it's better to go 5-1 and just lock the spot up than try to get in on breakers. But another 4-2 bread and butter off-stream finish for this deck. It's basically a Turbo Artifact PO deck with no black. And the reason you don't really need black in this deck is because the only black card you'd really play is Demonic Tutor. The reason you want to play like Mystical and Vamp Tutor in PO traditionally is because you want to be able to have more tutors that find Tinker. But you don't have Tinker in this deck because we're going to play Lurrus. So really you don't need black cards at all. So you can just focus on the white splash for removal. So you're almost mono blue, but you're splashing white for removal. And then your Fireball does cost a different color, but 1 Volcanic Island, Opals, Ruby, and Lotus, it's super easy. I've never had a problem casting this Fourth Airlingus in any of the matches I've played. So yeah, this is like a super draw-heavy deck. You're playing 4 baubles to make sure your Lurrus is actually good. And I do think that's all you need to make Lurrus good. Someone in the Discord was like, man, you're not really returning enough stuff with Lurrus. And I just disagree. I think as long as you have bauble, Lurrus is always good. I am playing 2 swords and 2 portable hole. Portable hole is nice because it answers null rods and those kind of things. It's also a card that returns from the graveyard for Lurrus, and it's also a card that gets picked up with PO, and it's also a card that turns off Metalcraft for Opal. So there are a bunch of things that portable hole doesn't hit, but there are a bunch of things it does hit that are still good, and for all the rest, you still have Swords to Plowshares. It's one of the better balanced decks I've ever seen in my life. This is a kind of deck where you would probably see this deck be playing more balances and more opals if balance was unrestricted. No one really wants a balance unrestricted metagame, but like this is the kind of deck that you would see pop up if you had 4 balance available, where you just on the play a handful of Moxen and then mind twist your opponent's entire hand. 1 Snapcaster just for the engine, and then like I said, we're playing a full cantrip suite in this one. We have more draw than like we're up there with like Doomsday in terms of draw, with 4 Bauble, 4 Ponder, both Delve spells, Snapcaster, 4 PO, drawing 1 Brain Surge as a different way to like fix your hand. And then you just win the game by casting extremely large Fourth Airlingus. I cast 1 for 13 to attack for a 1-turn kill. So yeah, it's a really cool deck. I actually had a lot of fun playing with the deck off stream, so I decided I would show it all to you today. See you for round 1. Okay, round 1 vintage challenge. We're up against Sai. Sai has been piloting a very experimental version of Jewel Shops. Jewel Shops can be kind of an annoying matchup just because a lot of our ways to beat Jewel Shops are going to be in the board with a bunch of negations and those kind of cards. We have some good tools in the main, but if they just like have a really strong hand, we could have a problem. That being said, we have some nice counterplay. I won a Jewel Shops match off stream in the challenge where my opponent had to use their last blue mana to sink into stupor my Lurrus so that I wouldn't steal the jewel. And then I just untapped in 4th Airlingus for 10 and killed them. So we'll see what we can do here. On the play, no, on the draw with a cat. This is my opponent's Jewel Shops deck. 3 jewels is very interesting. 3 sinks, 3 POs, 2 fluster, which is not the most castable card. Main deck Masticore. So they're experimenting with a lot of interesting choices. This hand is actually quite reasonable if my opponent leads on like a Grim Monolith Go and like doesn't play a turn 1 ring. We start to build out our mana and go for a PO, but it doesn't have a force in its opening hand, and it's going to just straight up probably fold to a turn 1 ring or turn 1 jewel. Is it really worth mulliganing this hand, though? I'm not convinced it is worth mulliganing this hand. All we really need to do is have a little bit of time, and we'll start going off with POs as well. I'm going to try keeping it, especially with the way my opponent's deck is built. Only 3 jewels, a bunch of monoliths and stuff. I think there's some leeway here based on their opening hand. Springs. Okay, Springs Lotus Ring. That would be a bad outcome. Oh, key. Monolith. Oh. Okay, well, my Portable Hole is extremely good against Manifold Key, Time Vault, but if my opponent has both of them and a Black Lotus, I guess I just lose. Okay. This game is like super playable if I don't have to die on turn 1. Playing like Portable Hole, getting rid of one of their pieces. I'm going to end up with a Mox Opal and have some good POs coming. Kind of unfortunate, but excuse me, it is what it is. That's definitely a thing that can happen in Vintage. Seal of Cleansing is quite good here, as is Force of Negation and Hurkyl's Recall. My opponent might bring in Hull Breachers. They're quite good. Yeah, looks like Hull Breachers is my biggest problem here. So I have to leave in at least some amount of removal. I'm going to take out this Brain Surge. I'm going to take out a Cruise. I'm going to take out the Plains. Definitely don't need a Plains in this matchup. I'm not 100% sure I'm allowed to take out the Plains and the island. Actually, I think I can take out the Plains and the island. It's 12 lands plus Saga plus Opals and lots of Metalcraft. Yeah, PO can definitely function with that little... you can probably just take out both of the basics in matchups where your opponent is not pressuring your mana in any way. Don't really like misstep in this matchup at all, so this seems pretty reasonable. Balance. Balance is a little sus, but I still kind of like Portable Hole at hitting like Grim Monoliths and stuff. Try this. I mean, opponent kept a 7 on the play, and I didn't have a force, so sometimes that happens. I kind of loathe this hand a little bit, but it looks like a keep to me. Has a force, double Moxen, Saga on the play. No, Vintage is much worse with the restrictions. Vintage got extremely narrow. There are only 3 or 4 viable decks in the format. It's quite a lot worse. Basically, all the things I said were going to happen in my my video happened. The decks that played for Saga got better because they cut the mana that doesn't cast the spells they want to cast, like Psychic Frog. And then a couple decks got kneecapped because they didn't have, different ways to play. Lots of bad things happened. Basically, right now, there are 3 decks that are not Lurrus that have a above 50% win rate. That would be Jewel, Doomsday, and Breach. And then every variant of Lurrus has above 50% win rate. So you either play Lurrus or you play Jewel, Doomsday, or Breach, and every other deck is kind of a poor choice. My opponent has, of course, the blue mana source, Ancestral Recall. I'm just going to force it. I think it's just too... I mean, I guess they could have Sink into Stupor and force, but that's okay, too. Yeah. The good decks got better and the bad decks got worse, and now we have like a very small and narrow metagame that is not good. Why? Like, I really hate the fact that I come into stream, I try to play some Magic, and the first thing people talk about is the restrictions. It's just very, very frustrating, but that's Magic culture, I guess. Like, why don't we talk about the game of Magic that we're playing instead? I'm gonna hold this top so I can make a construct, because next turn I don't think I'm gonna make a construct. Oh, I actually might still make a construct. Depends on how much mana I have. I just want to play Magic. I don't really want to talk about like theoretical restrictions in Magic. Are we just jamming one of my 3 coveted jewels? Like, isn't it super frustrating that my opponent cut a coveted jewel in their deck and they're still playing a turn 2 coveted jewel? I mean, like, my opponent's deck is so poorly constructed if they play a jewel that I can steal a jewel with a construct here. I'm not really sure, like, top spin for one of 6 remaining forces is a good use of my mana, but, like, it's definitely a reasonable choice. I didn't watch any of Worlds, but I did watch the vintage draft, the vintage cube draft, which I thought was quite interesting. I watched the Juju family get 4 more pieces of power and also draft 2 of the best decks in the pod, so they'll probably get 2 more pieces of power. I'm going to get a Sapphire very likely, though I guess a problem is that if my opponent is drawing this many cards, then maybe they just have Force of Will. So maybe I do need to get a Lotus. Kind of depends. So my opponent passed the turn here. I mean, so like looking at my opponent's deck list, I think if my opponent plays a Coveted Jewel, it's highly likely they'll fizzle, and I'll be able to steal the Coveted Jewel. Like they got away with PO for 2 here, but the only reason is because they actually drew a Mana Crypt. If they blank on Mana Crypt there, they actually just like leave an attacker in and I steal the thing. I just like don't think spinning a top is like a high value play from that spot. But like, I understand why you want to make that play, and I actually think there's a lot of value to what you're saying. I think your play has merit. It's just I chose to do it a different way. I think my opponent has probably double counterspell here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I guess I don't have enough mana to do both POs. That's a little unfortunate. So I probably can't activate this top. I probably just have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't bring in Flusterstorm, so this doesn't matter. So yeah. This way, if they counter this, I still have spin and draw if I need to. Though I probably wouldn't force back. I would probably... Does that actually... That does help, right? It doesn't actually help because I'm going to lose my attacker that I'd paid for. So, not me wins again. Oh, actually, I can't even replay everything anyway. So I guess I'm not casting Hercules here. But like these cards are not doing anything either. That's kind of unfortunate. Like I have my 1 Volcanic Island, so I can't cast my Portable Hole on the Mana Crypt. So my opponent's just going to cast a new Coveted Jewel and beat me. That's quite frustrating. Okay, so I think I just lose this game. That's really not good. Okay, not good. Notably, those weren't the cards we would have spun for if we had played top because we did shuffle, but it would have been Volcanic plus 2 unknowns. I think we're just going to straight up lose this match on this turn, so it is what it is. I could have played this like whole set of 2 games a little bit more defensively, but I'm not sure it would have mattered much. Did they not hit a 6th land? 6 mana? Oh, they didn't hit a 6 mana. Are they going to kill off this? That'd be so good. Please do that. Oh, that's so good for me. Oh, no. What? Okay. Wait, why wouldn't they just play a jewel then? Is their deck really that susceptible? I guess I can't kill them through a ring, huh? I can draw through my whole deck though, at least. I mean, Bug with Goyf is good against Jewel, but it's bad against the rest of the field. You can't just like have a deck that only beats one thing. I'm drawing 2 portable holes here out of my 5 card. Oh, they have another force? Well, that is probably a huge problem. They go to 6. I mean, they just have a jewel in their hand, right? So we're just dead. Okay. I mean, I don't know. These are the games that you just like play against jewel and you're just never going to win because they just have the right stuff and they beat you. Like they had a blue land and played ancestral on turn 1 and they had Lotus opener twice. I don't know. Well, what? I mean, I just trying to play around double counterspell. It's like extremely unlikely my opponent has double counterspell because all they have. I mean, I guess they get a Flusterstorm if they get Flusterstorm in, but they were tapped out here. So, I mean, we're just super dead here. Like we're drawing top, and we don't even have counterplay, even if my opponent were to whiff here somehow. So it's not like a huge deal. They also have Manamo, untap ring, play workshop. I mean, these hands were just really broken. And I don't even really like the way my opponent played it out. Like, I think killing the construct is just a misidentification of what matters. Like, especially if you have a 1 ring already. But maybe the construct hit would have killed them here with, like, the mana crypt flips. I guess that's possible. They didn't pick up everything? Just pick up everything. I don't know. This match is kind of tilting me, as you probably can tell. I really don't like the approach of the deck construction or the way my opponent played the game, but if you play enough powerful cards, sometimes it just doesn't really matter too much. But again, like I had choices on my side that could have led towards me maybe having a better chance in this game. If I had not made a construct and instead played a top, I could have maybe spun into a force, but then I would have to use one of my POs. My opponent forces back. I lose anyways. Then they don't go for Might Stone on my construct. They just draw 2 cards and win anyways. I don't know. There's like a lot of things happening here that make it so it just doesn't really matter very much. It's really hard to come back from I have to force my opponent's ancestral on turn 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue sources. Yeah. But sure. Yeah. Whatever you want. I'm just going to concede there's no point in playing that anymore. Is what it is. Like I said, there were a couple choices we could have made that maybe changed our percentages a little bit, but in general, like our hands were not as strong as our opponent's hands, and we just died. All right, here we are. We're going to talk about all the things we made mistakes on in round 1 because there were quite a few, and I think it's important to be able to recognize that. We talked about possibility of mulliganing this hand against an opponent where we think they're going to be on Jewel. And we talked about how Portable Hole covers a variety of like 7-card weak Jewel keeps, but it's going to be pretty bad against a lot of 7-card good Jewel keeps. Obviously, it's hard to guess which ones of those opponents going to go. We obviously made like some assumptions based on their construction of their deck, which lends them to be less explosive. But in general, this hand might just have to be mulliganed. We talked a little bit about how mulliganing to Force of Will in your just 4/4 deck is not exactly a very reasonable thing to do in every matchup where you know your opponent is on Jewel, but also you do need to have Force of Will in like the first couple turns or produce some kind of winning play on turn 1. So I think in general, this hand probably just doesn't cover enough range, even though it's maybe, you know, has disruption and has like a turn 2 P over 3. It's probably just like not strong enough to beat the most Jewel hands. So it's unfortunate because our deck doesn't really rebound very well from mulliganing to a force. Like a traditional PO deck has a tinker. So if you mold a 5 and you force your opponent's turn 1 ring or something, you could still untap and have mana crypt tinker. But in this deck, you're not going to have that. So it's like very punishing to do any amount of mulliganing because your deck really needs to have card quantity. PO is a card that you need to have a certain number of artifacts in play for it to be good. That being said, like, even though I think I had some good reasoning for keeping this hand, in the end, you probably just have to mulligan that. Obviously, opponent had a broken hand, but that's, you know, that's vintage. People have broken hands. And then game 2, I think this keep is good. Obviously, we have a force, and then on turn 3, we'll have a blue source to play one PO for 3 or 4. So obviously, this keep is fine. I still like forcing the ancestral, especially based on their turn 1 1 mana land play. The problem here is I probably over evaluated the number of times like a 5/5 construct here is good. If we like, the problem is you have to make an assumption on if your opponent has a follow-up play immediately that you need to counter. Again, we're only looking top spin, top 3 cards, looking for one of 6 forces. And then if we do have to draw top force, we are putting top on top, and we have lost one of our counter or one of our engines. But we redraw top. We still have plenty of mana. We can get the Sapphire, and we can go for the PO on the next turn. So, I mean, I would say Not Me is probably correct here in evaluating that a top spin might be worth more than a construct. Times where a construct is worth more is going to be if my opponent randomly plays a Jewel. I think it's not unreasonable to look at the construction of their deck and say this deck is probably less good at making sure this Jewel continues to combo off. So this Jewel is like very risky. However, my opponent, did have Mana Crypt PO, and it wasn't risky. In this game, the construct actually did clock my opponent down to a pretty close, maybe 1 turn off kill. So I don't think the construct was worthless. But the evaluation of is the construct worth more than a top spin here is probably not in the favor of the construct. Obviously, then I'm talking about the construct, and then I evaluate here on what I want to search for. I want to search for a Sapphire, and the reason I want to search for a Sapphire is because I would like there to be more permanent things in play to return with PO. If I think my opponent is going to force my first PO, getting something like a Black Lotus that is going away is less strong. However, I think I'm maybe miscounting how much mana I have here, because I can't actually go PO on the same turn, and I really probably need to go PO on the same turn. If my opponent has a force, I need to play the second PO this turn. So realistically, this Sapphire probably just needs to be a Black Lotus. So then when we get to this spot, we'll have, instead of having 6 mana, 7 mana, we'll have 9 mana. And that way we can play our PO and activate our top as well. And then if they counter it, we can PO again. POing again, of course. Actually, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1 is 5. +1 is... Yeah. So we would keep our Lotus in play for the first cast, and then we'd have to lose our Lotus for the second cast, but we would still get a draw 4. That being said, we do know that our top 3 would have been Hurkyl's Portable Hole, +1. So it would have ended up being a very challenging game to win, even if we did. But of course, you need to give yourself the opportunity to, have good cards on top and resolve your PO. So like this play was bad. Probably was supposed to get a Black Lotus instead of a Sapphire, and we lost because of it. Oh, that's the third thing. The third thing here is, while sideboarding, I wasn't really talking about sideboarding well enough, and I forgot to bring in the Needle, which is a card I always forget to bring in when I stream against Jewel. Needle is extremely, extremely important to bring in this matchup because it's your solid answer to the One Ring. So we should have a Needle in our deck. Now Dylan's asking if I would go for a Needle in this spot. And go for double 6/6s. I don't think we're allowed to do that because we know that our opponent has a Jewel in their hand. Like, my opponent has 5 mana and a known Jewel in hand. Wait, they don't have a Jewel in hand? They pitched a Jewel to hand size? Is that a different Jewel? That's kind of crazy. I don't think I noticed that while we were playing. They just pitched an extra Jewel to hand. I mean, play 3 Jewels and pitch 1 to hand size is never a good sign for me. I don't think I would go for the token Needle line. I'd be more interested in going for Lotus double PO there most times. Anyways, I think, I don't know. This is a good example of, in the moment of streaming this, I was complaining that my opponent had really strong draws, right? And my opponent did have really strong draws. But the big issue here is not really that my opponent has strong draws. Your opponents in Magic are going to have strong draws in a large percentage of the matches you play. The issue here is I made crucial mistakes in mulliganing, sequencing, tutoring, and construct evaluation. Like, I think it's important to be retrospective of the fact that there are lots of things in my control in this match, and the things that were in my control, I didn't do correctly. And those are the things that are worth worrying about. It's not worth worrying that your opponent had turn 1 Volt Key. That's just something that happens. That's something you don't have any control over. So anyways, obviously there were like additional factors on why I was not focused and made bad choices. But still, it's on me to, ignore chat and slow down and make good decisions. So hope you got something from that, because I certainly got something from this review of round 1. I will see you in round 2. All right, here we go. Round 2. Fresh. And we need to get all of our power aligned here to battle against Lord Beerus, actually the 3rd highest win rate player in Vintage post-restrictions, the Dredge master himself. Our deck has not a very good Dredge matchup. I have only 5 cards in the sideboard for it, and we do have some combos in the main, but it's not the most consistent combos. So this hand I don't feel like I'm allowed to put back, though. It has the ability to build out some amount of Moxen, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, but like, what are we really mulliganing for against Dredge? We have to probably just keep a normal hand and hope it's good enough. Oh, I like Painter in Legacy. I just don't own Painter, so I have to borrow the entire deck from someone, which I don't really like doing that much. Like, it's nice that I can and sometimes have the capacity to borrow decks from players, but I would rather 2 hollow ones. I think most decks have a good Dredge matchup if you respect it, but I didn't respect it with deck building here, so. Second hollow one I think is too much. I'm gonna get rid of the cruise and keep going. I was gonna let the first hollow one resolve because I have some swords. I have ways to play through a hollow one, but 2 hollow ones is a lot of hollow ones. I don't think the Vexing Bauble is good against Dredge at all, really. So I think Vexing Bauble is just not a very good magic card, is my problem. What are we forcing if not the hollow one? Their Force of Will. Like, we need to resolve our combo pieces. I need to look at a latest Beerus list and look at Mindbreak Traps and Force of Vigors to see if I want to play anything else out here. I don't think you need to repeal anything. I haven't felt that repeal is necessary. I have felt that having access to the Xerox style cantrip engine is good, though. All right, my opponent doesn't have any of that stuff in the main, so I don't need Storm, but I can just play all these things out. I guess I could have held them out. I don't know. I have to shuffle next turn with Ponder. 1 Narcomoeba. That's not too bad for me. 1 Narcomoeba, 1 Icarid. 2 Narcomoebas, 1 Icarid is still not bad for me. Those are not the best dredges. We might have enough time here to build out a PO. Gonna Ponder because I don't want to draw the card that was underneath here. I do want to draw Opal Fetchland, though. Yeah, I do want to draw those. Somebody already redeemed that, so it's already happening. I just don't know if a PO is going to be enough to win here. That's my biggest problem. I don't think I need a force at this point, so just... My opponent dredged, right? So they don't have a force in their hand at this point. It's just, can my PO for 4 be enough to win from this spot? I'm not really convinced it will be, but we'll see what happens. Especially with double Creeping Chill. Oh, wait, do I just die to double Creeping Chill? 9... I do. I exactly died a double Creeping Chill. Okay, I mean, just Lord Beerus things. I don't know. Could I have done anything differently? I don't know. Maybe I could have shuffled somewhere. All right, well, I'm going to bring in 3 pieces of Dredge Hate, 5 pieces of Dredge Hate, and then I'm going to take out Portable Hole. Might bring in Flusterstorm, possibly. Don't really like Brain Freeze or Cruise typically in this matchup. I don't really know how I feel about Balance. Because on the play, like, you're always playing a land. Maybe on the draw, Balance makes more sense. Misstep doesn't matter because I don't need to counter Noxious Revival. There are some number of Wastelands coming in, but maybe he doesn't bring in Wastelands because my deck list is public. And he knows I don't have Tabernacle. I need to keep some swords in for hollow ones and stuff. I could technically bring in more swords. Actually, not even sure Flusterstorm is really the protection. Like, Flusterstorm is protection here, but do I need more protection? Probably don't need 2/4 in the matchup, but that's kind of hard to say for sure. Maybe just bring in 1 Flusterstorm. I'm not 100% on how I'd like to play this. Also, like, maybe this dig is just too slow anyways, so. Because I do need to protect, like, the anti-dredge cards that I do find. Now, is this hand going to be good enough? Probably not. I really need to find a hand that has one of my pieces, at least. Okay, this is a neat hand that, okay, So there's Vigors, right? 4 Vigors. I'm pretty sure I'm still supposed to play Saga, though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I could buy Lurrus, too. Whatever. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm winning this game if I'm not playing turn 1 Saga, so 7 card Dredge Keep again. I guess I'm probably not winning no matter what. Bazaar of Baghdad. Oh, I got an F6? Oh no, that was just a special action. He's still doing things, so I am assuming my Saga and my Needle are just getting vigored here. 2 for 1. I guess it's 2 for 2, but 2 for free. Yeah. I don't know. What am I saying? Oh, I get to play Lurrus next turn, actually. That's a sick draw. Pearl's really good there. I mean, that's about like my best possible draw. So see if they have a force. Need blue white probably. Nope. They have Force of Vigor, Force of Will, Icarid, Dredger. I don't know. I don't know if this stream is actually gonna ever go on YouTube. Let's be real here. I mean, I do my best possibles from the spot, and I just don't have a chance because it's Lord Beerus on Dredge. I can draw PO next turn is my best draw now. I can still draw PO from here. I'm actually really low on life because he hit double chill plus Icarid. I'm dead on the next turn, so should probably wasteland me. All right. This is my last turn. PO. Snapcaster Mage with no targets. Does that make me survive? Technically makes me survive. If I don't lose my crypt flip. Just draw well. Famous last words. I mean, my opponent's third highest win rate player for a reason. Yeah, I call it like this. You clean. Yeah, I mean, all 4 chills. And then I had PO coming, man. One, two, three, four. Okay, I would have died anyways. I don't know. We didn't really have a chance. On to round 3. Do not worry. We have more Magic the Gathering. This time featuring a cat, maybe. Oh, a cat mirror. Perfect. Cat mirror seems like we won't die on turn 1. We can try to play a little bit of Magic out. This hand looks nice. I like this hand. This hand looks great in a cat mirror. Let's do the classic Mishra's Bauble target myself trick. Do we want the card on top? Fetch land. Kind of, but I almost want a time walk anyways. I feel like the value of time walking is just very high here. Can buy Lurrus too. Can get the basic island. If it was something like Ancestral, then we would wait. Maybe go for Ancestral on their upkeep. But I think with a time walk here, the problem with getting basic island is it doesn't cast Lurrus, but Lurrus is not that important. And I think having both of our basics versus an opposing Lurrus is much more important. Let's take a peek at what our opponent's looking at. Force, Ponder, Tundra, Volcanic, Brainstorm, Flooded Strand. Okay, Tundra, Volcanic. Are we playing a mirror? Did I trick somebody? Oh, my opponent is not looking to deploy a creature on turn 1, so my Swords is a little not good. So I'm gonna get this Lurrus here. And the Lurrus can bring back Bauble, so it is a threatening piece to deploy. So I would probably look to find some... I don't have that much protection in the main for what it's worth. No Flusterstorms or anything like that. They found another Probe. I'm looking to Mental Misstep like Brainstorm here. Or have Mental Misstep for Force for my Lurrus. So I think Probe is fine. Tundra, Ponder. The Ponder is a lot less valuable than the Brainstorm in my eyes here. Don't know if that's actually true, but Brainstorm is so broken. And I love Mental Misstepping Brainstorm, especially when my opponent has no action in hand. We have to find out if our opponent is on like a Jeskai, Dreadhorde style Lurrus deck, or if they're playing the mirror here. I wouldn't hate a Force. I wouldn't hate a Mox to make our PO online. I don't hate that. That looks really nice, actually. Let's do that. That's a must counter, right? The Lurrus is a bit more valuable than this 4th. Nope, that was their turn 1. We time walked on turn 1. All right, so are they going to pitch Brainstorm, though? That's the question. They did, so they pitched Brainstorm. So they're leaving themselves with another Force for my Lurrus. I don't know. I feel like you need Brainstorm here. You have, like, land, Force. Know about Misstep. Volcanic. Jet. Okay, so it's the mirror. It's the mirror. Okay. Let me just see. They've already used the Ponder and the Portable Hole. So the only thing that this the Brainstorm. The only thing this Misstep is really hitting is a Swords protecting our Lurrus. We know that their hand is Force of Will, Flooded Strand, X. They probably have another blue card. The problem with Mental Misstepping this is if they can just bring it back with Lurrus later, but I also want our PO to stay online, so I think this is a pretty reasonable Mental Misstep target. So we are going to play the mirror here. So I scammed another gamer into an O2, huh? Now I kind of feel bad. I'd love to see a Force. I'd love to see a Mox. Fetch is not very good, though. So the problem is this Lurrus worth just running into a Force, leaving them with just fetch land? They would play their Lurrus. Yeah, that's probably. I don't think I can, like, wait around. Oh, they didn't have another blue card. Okay, that's incredibly good for me. That's probably game winning for me. Definitely want a brainstorm as well. Do I want to cast this now? No, I think I'd rather wait for another card to make the brainstorm better. I have that ability here. So they have force and 2 unknowns. I mean, if I get to play PO mirrors with no Tinker, I'm a very happy guy. So this is what we got to the O2 bracket for. So we could play some 4th Aerlingas mirrors. Is this a delve spell? Hmm. I don't have any fluster storms for this. We know that they don't have force, or they would have forced Lurrus. So they have force plus an unknown. That's not blue. How much value do we lose casting this brainstorm? Do we need to keep the swords for their Lurrus? Probably not. Let's cast a brainstorm. Okay. Just gonna get rid of swords and delta, and then next turn we could PO for like 4 or something. I guess they could draw their own swords here for Lurrus, which would be pretty annoying. But there's only 2 swords in the deck that hit here. They also have probably draw a blue card for force. Are they gonna respond? I mean, now I can PO back my Lurrus technically. Mana Vault. All right, so I'm gonna play a bauble. I'm going to... I still would cast a 4th if I had it, so I probably should ponder first. Ancestral Force Ponder. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to attack first, and then I'm going to go Mana Vault, Ancestral. Like, I know their deck list, so they don't have Flusterstorms or anything, or negations, so I'm definitely going to play all this on my turn. I guess I don't need to do that right now, but I'm going to do this. Ancestral target myself. Oh, it resolved? Like that means the game is over. I'm just going to pick up everything. I guess they didn't draw a blue card for their force. Oh, they just didn't want to force the ancestral. I don't know if I agree with that one, homie. Okay. I pick everything up. Oh, I hit an academy. My new Lurrus can play a new... Let's dig first. Force Ponder, fetch. Brains. So I want to leave cards that can get hit by Snapcaster and leave cards that can get hit by Lurrus. Portable Hole Swords, Force Ponder. I think I'll just take Force Ponder. And then... I guess I can use... I can hold up Hardcast Force. Maybe I was a little too quick there. Because I can hold up Hardcast Force here. But now I can't Ponder. But I want to play Lurrus and rebuy a Bauble. I guess that's fine. I probably should have put a little bit more thought into that one than I did. So let's look at your top card, Sapphire. Let's get my top card, a Portable Hole. Let's replay a Bauble and pass. Draw some for the Mistress Bauble. I still have a Force. They have 3 cards. I have infinite mana, basically. Oh. I know this resolves right now. But I can wait for like a removal or a portable hole or something. Okay. Yeah, that was an interesting little set. Let's see what we can do post board. Now, this is an interesting one post board. I don't know. I don't believe I'm going to bring in negation, but I could totally see my opponent bringing in negation. Flusterstorm is absolutely great here. Seal of Cleansing is great here. I don't know about Hercules. We don't need Island Plains, though, because our opponent's not going to attack our mana base. Don't hate the idea of balance. Interesting. I haven't thought about the mirror yet because I haven't actually. I mean, I made the deck last week, so I haven't thought about the mirror yet. Yeah, I don't want negations, but I'm gonna play around negation from my opponent. I also don't really see a need for Hercules. It's just a question of, is this balance gonna be good to like save me from like a missed fourth Airlingas? That's the only opportunity I really see for balance to be great. I guess swords is only hitting Lurrus, right? So I don't really want a bunch of swords. But I do kind of need some. I guess I could just have forces. I need some swords, but like not. It's not like I have like psychic frogs or anything like that. Let's leave a balance and a sword as our removal. Let's remove our basic because we're not getting our mana base attack. Pretty sure 13 lands, including a saga with probably one of the better Mox Opal mana bases, is totally acceptable if you're not getting wastelanded and sphered. I used to say that classic PO could play as low as 10 lands on triple opal, so. Well, that hand's not very good, is it? That one's gotta go. All right, mulligan. All right, that hand's much better. We're gonna keep. I think this mana crypt is just not necessary from here. I would rather have both blue-white lands. This game might go a little longer as well. It's kind of weird to be bottoming a mana crypt in a PO mirror, but well, hopefully they don't play like Lavinia or something. I'm gonna mental misstep that. Just puts them too far ahead towards PO. Obviously, it turns off my force for now, but ooh, another Tundra was not really the draw we were looking for. I guess Mana Crypt would let me have force on the next turn here, but my Lurrus is only good if I immediately draw Bobble though. But I should be pretty insulated against like a really powerful PO play by mental misstepping this Mana Vault, so that's fine. It's a very special kind of cat battle. It's the combo cat battle. You don't see that much anymore. Oof, man. Another fetch land is definitely farther from what we wanted. I don't see a reason not to go, though. If my opponent wants to like invest multiple cards for this Lurrus, that's fine. If they have a swords, it was going to be pretty bad no matter what. They did keep in swords for it. Okay. I mean, now I'm pretty far behind, though. Oh, I'm getting both of my Moxen portable hold. Let's see. Well. Okay. I'm not sure if I like the spot we're in. Opponent has 4 cards that are gas in their hand. They also have a bobble for their... I mean, their Lurrus, if it resolves, is much better than mine. Probably fetch away so they don't know my top card. Oh, my own bobble. A PO. I feel like this PO is bad, right? I lost all my things to portable hole. Don't even feel that it helps. Gonna need like Ancestrals and Ponders. Or like, oh yeah, Devil Spell would be good, yeah. I need to catch back up to my opponent's cards. Though I do have a very nice mana. Seal is interesting. Though I lost my Lurrus, sadly. Lurrus Seal is an easy way to break open one of these kind of games. There's some actual upside in countering that Ponder, but I kind of need to counter Lurrus. My opponent shuffled and missed, so they still don't have any lands. Oh, that's like great. So this is super interesting. So I have a total of 8 mana. So I could fourth for 1 and have force up. But if my opponent has another swords, it's pretty bad to fourth for 1. I could just wait 1 turn and play a seal, get a Mox back. But they're tapped out of Flusterstorm right now. Yeah, I could seal their Mox to play around the swords, but then I can't play a force with my 4th Airlingas. I think there's a lot of like really interesting things here. But what are you jamming? Like, I don't think it's a very straightforward jam. Like, you have 8 mana. You want to just jam all of it when like not use your force, but then your force isn't even turned on for their later Lurrus because you lost your Black Lotus. Oh wait, I can't even fourth for 1 and play what's it called, right? No, I can't. Okay. So maybe I should just fourth for 2 and not have force up. But again, like I could Seal of Cleansing a Portable Hole. I'm gonna fourth for 2, and I think that's okay. This plays around swords. It does get countered by a pitch spell, but we still get to keep our force for later. I mean, they have 5 cards in their hand that are not mana, so. I mean, this is really good for us. This is what I was talking about, where it's a Tendrils that is also good when you cast it for, like, for fun. Yeah, they could have POs, for sure. There's, like, a large swath of cards they could have. I guess there's, like, a little bit less, because the deck has a lot of Ponders and Baubles and stuff. The fact that I can cast forth for 1 and 2 and it's actively very good a lot of the time is so nice. Well, I guess they could have Snapcaster here. Maybe a reason not to make the play I did. I almost want to just hit this Pearl. Drew a land. I wonder, I still think attacking with 2 is better. Oh, this is a Delve spell. Are we worried about getting our force flustered here? I don't think so. If it gets flustered, it means they tapped out anyways. Interesting. You come at me with my deck and want to play a Tinkerless PO mirror? If I can win any kind of Magic, this is the kind of Magic I can win. Because I'm not winning anything else, apparently. Okay, here we go. The comeback. Round 4. We're up against Innistrad Rev Service, who usually plays some kind of sphere-based shops. I don't have a great plan for sphere-based shops, but this hand looks pretty good. Sphere shops has unfortunately suffered quite hard in the new metagame. It really hasn't put its feet down, but you can never count out Mishra's Workshop. So this hand has a couple lands, has a removal spell, so I definitely like it. I do wish I had a force for like a turn 1 Trinisphere or something like that, but Vexing Bauble means whatever was they're casting is resolving, so force wouldn't have done much. Wasteland. One thing I do have is 2 basics in my deck, which is really, really nice. And now I have fetches for both of them. So against workshops, what you really want to do is get your mana out before it gets taxed. So I'm going to just go for the basic island, and I'm going to play the Mana Vault out. I guess theoretically, I maybe made a mistake there. If I go for the basic plains, then I can theoretically fetch Volcanic Island and play a 4th Airlingas if my opponent doesn't put any creatures in play. I didn't really consider that. Oh, I got my basic island strip mined. Well, that's bad. I hope I don't get Crucible of Worlds in this game. I don't really have counter spells that go through Bobble though. Ooh, Portable Hole. Interesting. So if I had another, I'm just going to Portable Hole with my, because I'm gonna get a basic planes here no matter what. I'm gonna go Portable Hole on this Ruby to put them further behind, and also it's gonna make my Tolarian better next turn anyways. The thing I'm most worried about is like Workshop Crucible, but I can't really do much about that. Ghost Quarter? All right, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, chat. My plan to play basics to play around Wasteland has once again been foiled. My bad. This thing's gonna get wastelanded too. And I guess I should have gotten rid of this bauble then. I mean, I need to cast this Ponder, so. Tundra Gaming. 4th Air Linga's PO. I mean, Tundra's good. I can pick up my Portable Hole and maybe hit the bauble later. I think it's a keep, chat. I think it's a keep. I mean, if I simply play my Moxen, I can cast all my spells. I can PO. I guess they have a 4th Wasteland though, so that's not very good for me. I mean, what am I supposed to do, man? They have all the things in the world. Still have to pick both these back up though. I played 2 basics and I'm still getting wastelanded out of this game. Oh, come on. Oh, wait, that turns off the Vexing Bobble. So now all I need to do is hit a land and I win. Sad. This game is so tilting. Ooh, they missed land drop though. All I need to do is hit a land and I'll be okay, but maybe I could have got Ponder there gone. Oh, they found a Black Lotus. Yeah, I mean, I played 2 basics and I got Strip Mine Ghost Quartered, so it is what it is. No more land. Okay, sure. I can still play Moxen through that. I mean, my deck has a ton of lands in it, but another Wasteland. I had to get rid of my sword, so. This is Sphere Shops. Okay. It is what it is. Negation, Hercules, Seal, Swords. I don't know. They're going to be playing a super controlling version. Not 100% sure if I want all of those, but Misstep, Portable Hole is great in this matchup. Top, Cruise, Dig, Brain Surge are all real sus. Merchant Scroll gets Hercules. Sword Surge is a lot, but that game was very, very, very winnable. Unfortunately, I got like really ruined by fetching basics, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm supposed to do there. With them having an active wasteland too. Obviously, the only decision that I could really change was, do I keep that Ponder? But the Ponder was literally a land and a castable spell, which is way more than I can ask for from any, that spot in any situation. So the other thing I could have done is I could have hit the Vexing Bauble with my first Portable Hole. That, on hindsight, not hitting the Vexing Bauble with the Portable Hole ended up, I could have definitely played the game with all the moxes that I had, but I just didn't know at the time, and I also didn't have the moxes at the time. So it made sense to like try to make my Tolarian Academy stronger, but that's no lands. Urza's Saga. Interesting. This is probably a keep, but it is certainly on the riskier side of things. Am I gonna get like Mind Break Trap from here too? Seal of Cleansing, Fetchland, PO. So now the question is, how many baubles do I use? I guess I don't really want to draw the PO. So I don't really want to use the baubles. Another wasteland. Okay. I do feel I have been significantly outdrawn in these games. A snake. And a sphere. Sure. I feel like I've made the correct choices from here. This one doesn't get planes, so probably crack one of these baubles. I couldn't play Force anyways, so it doesn't really make a lot of change to do it now. Besides, maybe I should have done it in upkeep so I could have seen which card they were going to draw. Oh, Tutorland. Tutorland is not great for me here. You kind of need another land. Like, they're just going to get, like, Crucible or something. Bad. That's certainly a good one, though. Probably best to just play out the seal. Let's see what they do with this fair. They might just get Crucible anyways, because it's like the best card here. Just gets a Wasteland on my Tundra. Yeah, they revealed Crucible. But I might have to Crucible this Sphere Resistance anyways. Or they could have, Strip Mine or Ghost Quarter, and then I have to hit the Crucible. Are they going to go for Inventor's Fair? Okay, they just went for Inventor's Fair. Yeah, I guess that's, like, really annoying. Okay. I'm just gonna have to hit the Crucible. Then Lurrus coming. Kind of have to leave this Bobble in play for the Opal, though. My deck is just not extremely suited to... it's not that bad against Sphere Shops. Like, I have a Hercules, I have a bunch of Moxen and stuff, but I'm definitely not respecting Sphere Shops in the configuration. But I would still assume, looking at my deck list, that I'd be favored. But it doesn't feel that way. But opponent also has some pretty powerful starts, so... Don't know if that's changing the color of the board. Yo, what's up, Beerus? Crush me and then quit stream. Classic. I'm looking pretty dead too. Wait, pass? 1, 2, 3. Couldn't they play whatever they wanted off that? I don't understand. Holy crap. That's crazy. I do it first and I can play Seal. Then they then they get another Crucible, waste on my thing. All right, I got Lurrus Seal of Cleansing. That sounds like a normal match for us, yes. All right, so what are they getting with this Adventurers Fair? Is it another Crucible? Average gaming, I'm aware. I mean, I have Lurrus Seal of Cleansing here. My opponent doesn't seem like they have very much action. I have a Seal. I mean, they could get a Revoker, I guess. Oh, I was supposed to crack this ball. I'm actually not sure I'm supposed to crack this bauble. It's still Metalcraft. If the Lurrus lives through the turn... Oh, no, they're going to get a Golos and get a Caracas. Okay. Then I can crack the bauble later. Ancient Tomb is their land. 6 mana Golos. Gets a Caracas for Lurrus. I don't have any Wastelands in my deck, and I didn't bring in Needle, so Caracas just completely wrecks my Lurrus plan. I have to kill them with 4th. Or, I guess, Mana Crypt. Okay, so I'm going to kill the Golos. And then I'm going to rebuy the Seal. So I don't want to actually use this bauble. I guess I can wait. There's no reason to crack now. Another land. So yeah, I'm going to kill this Golos. I'm pretty sure another Seal is worth more than a bauble draw. And then I guess I can still like play Golos and replay Seal even if they bounce it. Definitely don't need to hit anything right now though, so I'm just not sure if I'm supposed to be like doing more bauble stuff. They won their flip. Ancient Tomb. I'm not getting Wastelanded anymore, which is really good for me. Is this going to be another Serpent? My deck deals with Serpent really, really well with Portable Hole and Seal and Swords. They're just going to pass. Should I take out this Sphere? I mean, I can easily replay Lurrus through a Caracas, so I guess I can wait on that. Say the bounce in my upkeep, right? It's like risky if I have a dress down though. I guess maybe it's not that risky. Swords. I mean, I can just replay this Lurrus, so let's just do seal this sphere. Replay Lurrus. Replay seal. Oh, I guess I just didn't need to tap both my white sources for that. My bad. That could cost me, I guess. But I still have seal every turn. They want another flip. At some point, I can crack this bobble. I might crack this bobble this turn. I have 3 Tundras now. Oh, come on. That's a good one. They're gonna get a needle on my seal. It's not unlimited seals anymore. They're gonna get a needle or something. Man. I might just get, like, latticed, right? Wait a second. So what I can do is I can seal my portable hole and then Lurrus portable hole the needle. But then I don't have a lot of mana off my Tolarian Academy. But I could do that. I just lose 1 mana, though. It's not that big a deal, because I can still play Lurrus without the 1 mana. They have a follow-up? I have a swords for that. Might bait a lattice. I still lose to a lattice, though, right? This is not the most tilting game ever. I just top decked a Karn and it just crushes me. I've drawn no draw spells in this entire game. I guess I think I just lose. This is so frustrating, though. This is the only card that gets them out, and they won every flip from, like, the point we were looking at flips. That's so crazy, man. No, they don't have it. They don't have it. They got Argentum Masticore. What? What? All right, I guess. I still think we're in a bad spot, but I didn't bring in my needle for Caracas, so I've tried. There's not. I can't draw any cards that are good. Ah. Oh. I mean, I have Seal Loop because I killed my own portable hole. They keep winning all the flips. Please stop winning all the flips. Yeah, turns off one of my mana. Do I have to kill the sphere on this loop? I feel like I have to kill the sphere on this loop. What'd they draw? Trinisphere. I mean, my things already cost 3 each, right? Does that actually matter? I guess this costs 4, so it does not matter. This costs 3. I don't think it matters. I have drawn abysmally. They want to flip again. I think I'll just take 3 and then kill the sphere resistance because it's going to be a tap Trinisphere. What? Yeah, I got 4th Aelinkas I can draw, man. It's crazy. I think I'm just supposed to play all these. They lost a flip. They lost a flip, chat. I mean, now if they have a lattice for some reason, at least we have a seal. Oh wait, we can't seal a lattice. And they got another needle. Wait, is it happening again? We're gonna shoot the wait, no, the portable hole, the needle play doesn't work, man. Oh shit. Okay. All right. At this point, I do need to just hit the stupid Trinisphere then. Okay. Yep. Oh, that's funny. I can't do the same play though. Too many needles. Seal of Cleansing. All right. Oh, they drew a card that they can cast and play? That's illegal. What is this? A big stone coil? Oh man. Oh man. I think they've had it for a long time. I remember them tapping like they had a stone coil before, and they were trying to wait till they got a second needle. Help? Game? PO? Anything? Game, please. Oh, that's actually pretty good, right? Wait, it's actually not good because I can't attack through a Stone Coil Serpent. All right, come on. I have another draw. Come on, give me something. Help a guy out. Swords to Plowshares. 3 swords. Portable Hole. PO. 4th Aerlingus. Mox Pearl. I'm losing my mind. Oh, there are so many wins. When are they going to kill off their mana crypt, by the way? They won another flip. I just don't. All right, the mana grip is gone. They've decided they've won enough flips. No, they got rid of my red source. Now I can't cast 4th. That actually might beat the shit out of me. I'm not sure I can beat that. I have a Snapcaster, I guess, is what I can draw to. Snap Time Walk here. PO would be nice. Thank you, game. All right, I gotta think though, because Jesus. Should probably play the cat first and get another Mox. I need a Snapcaster Mage. Oh, I don't have another Mox. I see. Never mind, I guess. This Portable Hole can come back. Oh, that's really good. Yeah. And if they don't name Seal again, I can get Seal back. So they have the name Double Seal here. They named Double Seal, but I drew Hercules. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Hercules doesn't actually do anything, but it saves my life, so that's good. Merchant Scroll. I don't have a repeal. Someone suggested a repeal, but I don't have a repeal. What can I get? I don't actually know what I can get. I guess I can fetch and find out. I'm at 1. Does that matter? Snap, swords, portable hole, balance, ancestral. Hercules doesn't win because it doesn't do anything. It's a Karn chat. But I am locked off red mana because they drew the Wasteland the turn before this. Oh, Portable Hole gives more turns. I don't need a Hercules. Yeah, but how am I going to get a Snapcaster Mage? I need to get a Snapcaster Mage. If I use 4 mana, I can't snap this turn. So I just need to hold up Hercules for a turn. Well, we're fine. We're fine. Like we're gonna live for another turn here. Just get an ancestral. I got Mind Pig trapped. Oh my god, I would have run this portable hole straight into a mind break trap. They don't have a second mind break trap, right? Oh shit. So I'm just gonna leave up Hercules instead of playing the Soul Ring out. I guess I could play a Seal out. Nah, this is fine. I think we're going to win this game. I'm pretty sure we're going to win this game. The Snapcaster is the key magic card here, though. Snapping into Time Walk is the key. If my Snapcaster is too far down, we could have some problems. Also, if they draw a Wasteland on my Tolarian Academy, we could have some problems. Null Rod. That doesn't matter. They minus the Karn? You silly goose. They're dead now. I have a Hercules in my 75. Like we're 100% locked to win the game now. They're gonna get fourth Dealingized. I don't think they thought I had a Hercules, but I assuredly have a Hercules. Is this game 3? I don't think it is, right? I should probably just cast this. Oh, baby! We go to game 3! That was wild. I was in such a good spot. Okay. Woo! That was a game of Magic the Gathering. That's what we live for, right? Oh, okay. Game 3. Do I want to change anything? Do I want a Needle for Caracas? I don't think that's a thing I care about. But Needle's actually pretty good against Wasteland and stuff, so maybe we do want Needle. I don't know. Like, what's it worse than? Like, I need all my mana, right? I need all my mana and my tutors. I did get rid of the Delve spells, so I definitely had less spells I was drawing into than I thought. You typically like are it's very hard pressed to get these Delve spells off in these matchups, and I need like all the counters and fast mana I can get. Maybe a Bobble is like kind of bad, especially if they have no Rod. Do I want to add another Delve spell? I don't really feel like it matters that much. Let's try this. I don't feel like I want to do that. But I could always trim more Bobble. The problem is like Bobble is my one way of making Lurrus actually really good. And I think Lurrus matters here. Seal of Cleansing was an all-star in that game, though. I love the first Seal of Cleansing in Lurrus decks is peak. I don't even feel like it matters what kind of Lurrus deck you are. The Seal of the Portable Hole won the game. Hey, I can play Magic okay sometimes. I can also play Magic really badly sometimes. This hand is awful. this is one of the ones we don't want to keep. 7-card hand from the opponent. Okay, mulligan. Oh, chat. It's gonna be like that, huh? All right. I'm gonna need a little help here. Oh, why can't I have a beautiful 7-card Ancestral Force triple mox in hand, you know? Workshop. Sphere. I feel like we can play through a Sphere here, no problem. Yeah. All right. Let's go get that basic island. Hope we don't get strip mined again. Gotta make my mana happen here, though. 5 cards for my opponent. 6 mana, Sphere of Resistance. Seems good. I want to keep a 7-card Workshop Lotus Sphere hand. I actually don't. I actually don't want to do that. No! Wow, this Ghost Quarter, man. I just keep getting punished for playing around Wasteland. Why is this game like this? I have 4 swords in my deck. I have 2 portable holes in my deck. I think I can get away with not forcing this. Okay. If you say so. Maybe I should have kept 1 PO, 1 force. That might have been a mistake. Oh, come on! No! What? Why do I bother trying to play around Wasteland? I just get Ghost Quartered. Okay, it's fine. It's no problem. We're good. No problem. Shriz Bobble, not the best. I do need to find a removal spell. Portable Hole, Tolarian Academy PO. Okay. More lands, I assume? I mean, like, what else can it be? Lands? It's just has to be lands. There's, like, nothing else it can be. Just, like, 4 wastelands, probably, right? Get Karn? Sure. I have to hit this germ token with my portable hole, right? And also that makes my portable hole better pick up off PO. Oh no, do I have to counter something? Null Rod. I don't think this can resolve. It looks too bad. I lose my, what am I losing? Academy and PO? They already played a Wasteland this turn. Like, if next turn, even if I like played land and portable hold, I wouldn't be able to hold up force. Even if I played Academy, wouldn't really be very good. I mean, I want to draw Academy though. I think it has to resolve. And then we have to hit the Null Rod instead. And then we just have to find another way to get rid of the germ. We get Wastelanded off of white in this game. I think I just need the Academy though. I just can't get, like, they can't have another Wasteland is the problem. Another Sphere. Chalice on 0. Yeah, That's fine. I gotta play a little faster now. Saga No Wastelands left is so good. Oh, if I do it this way, I can't hold up force. Ah. That's what I get for playing too fast. I should have made the construct and then used this to pick up Lurrus and then held up in force. Oh, okay, sure. This is not what I want to do. These are not the order I'm trying to actually play these spells in. I'm trying to play a little too fast now. I don't really need to play this fast. I don't know why I am, but sorry about that. That should have been a very vastly different order. I think playing Lurrus is like less useful than having force up though. This is hard cast force as well, so. But I played that definitely slightly wrong. This is not lethal now, but it doesn't matter. Oh, wow. Okay, I think I played that okay in the end, but definitely a little bit I would like to have done a little differently. This was a crazy set. Opponent kind of didn't draw gas here. It looks like they drew a bunch of lands. And we got the one Urza Saga, baby. I never actually forced anything. Yeah, it's kind of wild. They draw a bunch of Chalice cards. It's kind of, yeah. I never forced in this game. It's kind of crazy. Undo. Oh, GG's. Oh, they had to have Karn. They did have Karn. Props to Echo Baron for the Karn call. They chose to play Null Rod instead of Karn. They never hit the land for it. They had a Golos, a Dismember, and a Karn. Interesting. I think we played I think a bunch of these games at the back half we played really, really well. I think the Seal of Cleansing portable, kill my own portable whole line was particularly noteworthy, and then this game was pretty. I feel like I was pretty good about threat identification and what I did and didn't need to force. Wild. Wild, 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 wild. Okay, here we go. Round 4. No, now we're round 5. On the play versus possible mono white initiative. I have a cat. Oh, they have a cat. So not mono white initiative. Cat mirror. I'm definitely down to play some cat mirrors. I want to play more cat mirrors, actually. This is definitely a keep. We got some nice draw spells. Fast mana. Can fetch a basic here. Not sure we're supposed to fetch a basic here, though. Considering I'd like to be able to use this to fetch away off a Ponder. I'm interested in probably just playing Tundra to Soul Ring. And then passing. No! Mental Misstep. That's really good here. Mental Misstep on my Soul Ring is going to slow me down a lot. And I got Wastelanded. Okay, well. My opponent is attacking my mana, and they have their own Sapphire. Very good. Let's take a quick peek. Another land. I don't really want to lose that land. I guess I could wait on the ponder. The problem with waiting on the ponder is the problem with waiting on the ponder is bowmaster, but I guess I have a swords already, so I can just wait, get this land. Next turn I can fetch a basic island and ponder, and then I have fetch basic plain swords. Delta. They're definitely behind on resources, but that might not matter too much. Basic island ponder. Do you have a bowmaster? Yes. Now, another question is this bowmaster worth swordsing? I'm not even sure if it's 100% worth swordsing, but I'm probably going to do it. My gut instinct tells me it is. Just the way my deck is functioning. Black Lotus. Black Lotus Mox Sapphire. Yeah, I mean, I think I want these. I don't think I want to show it. Yeah, cat and frog. 4 frogs, so. Lurrus to hand, sure. Now it's my turn to go Lurrus to hand. So what I can do is... I have no way of ever protecting this. So let's just... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that there's a... What would I know? I know there's like another mana on top, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely rebuying Bauble. See what their top card is. A Daze. And then we're drawing all of... I guess maybe this is like silly, but these draws are really good though. All right, so like they probably need to have Fatal Push for this Lura. Maybe this was like a little greedy? Like bad sequencing possibly? I don't know how I could have made the sequencing better. I guess they have their own Lurrus here, but they don't have a Bauble for their Lurrus, where I have a Bauble for my Lurrus. They have a Fatal Push though. Oh, they bottomed a Wasteland. They have the Fatal Push. We're actually not drawing a Mox, so the PO gets a lot worse. Maybe this is bad. Maybe I should have just brought back Soul Ring instead. If I had pondered first, I would have known that I had a PO Time Walk on top. And so I could have brought back Soul Ring. Okay, wow. Yeah, no. I knew there was something wrong with that play that I just made, but I couldn't figure it out. So I think if we had pondered first, we would have had Time Walk, or we could have even just Time Walked and bought Lurrus and passed and then PO'd. Yeah, we could have won this game, but I threw it away, it looks like. Wow. Kind of crazy, huh? I'm going to Time Walk first, because I do want another Moxen for this PO. I played that really poorly. I could definitely have pondered first, so I had more information on what I wanted to do with Lurrus. I thought I would always want to get Bauble back, but that doesn't seem like that's the case. I'm gonna do this now. Obviously, it plays into negation, but that's okay. They had Force blue card, Force pitching, Daze. Oh no. Okay, so the Daze is gone, so I can actually swords the... I probably am supposed to wait on swordsing the Lurrus anyways, because there's nothing coming back. Because some of these lists play like multiple Dazes. But yeah, I played that turn too fast. I needed to stop and think about my sequencing. And the reason I played it fast because I thought, oh, I would always bring back a Bauble. But that turned out not to be the case. The main reason it wasn't the case is because of Time Walk. Wow, I need a Mox to turn on 4th Aelingas here. They can't counter this no matter what. They have 1 card. All right, so they have an Orcish Bowmaster and 4 mana and 2 cards. I have 5 mana-ish and a 4th. They have, not Orcish, but they have an Orc army, I should say. This is going to get countered probably, though. They're going to have, like, negations and stuff in hand. Portable Hole. I mean, it's definitely worth playing, even though it's super aggressive. I don't really like the idea of waiting much here. And then I'm going to go for 1 to play around Spell Pierce. I feel like 1 is the one that makes the most sense. I guess it runs into Fatal Push, though. Oh, hold on. I need to see the last posted blue-black list. Three Spell Pierce, 1 Daze, 4 Fatal Push. So there's 3 push, 3 Spell Pierce left. And then there's obviously 4 negations. Have they had a chance to Spell Pierce things? I mean, I feel like it's mostly top decks, right? Yeah. I don't know. They were the same number, but they top decked once. Yeah. I can now pick up my PO, portable hole with PO if I need to use it again. It's kind of nice. Force isn't the worst, but it's not great. I could have played around Spell Pierce, but it just wouldn't have gone super well. They had Fatal Push. Top deck Brainstorm. I mean, I have, we both have 2 Delve spells in our deck to top deck from here. Yeah, I mean, they both, yeah. Demonic Tutor Ancestral. That's pretty good. Two dead cards, though. 2 dead cards is not bad. Snapcaster Mage, chat. Snapcaster Mage. How much mana? Snap PO. Can't really play around any counter magic at this point. Or is it Snap 4th? Snap 4th? Snapcaster Mage is great in my deck. I mean, PO is probably just winning. I guess PO is worse against another Bowmaster. But it's probably still beating a Bowmaster. I want a PO with Snapcaster. Yeah, I'm just going to play PO. All right, what do you got for me? Negation? Spell Pierce? Anything? Negation. Spell Pierce. I just keep getting wrecked by Spell Pierce. All right, 1 card from my opponent. I mean, this is still pretty good. I have 3 more POs in my deck that I can draw and pick up with the Snapcaster Mage. Probe. I still have 2 Delve spells. No! Bowmaster. Dig through time? Oh, chat. I have better draw spells than my opponent, but I'm not really getting there. I definitely have more draw spells in my deck than my opponent does, but they did get the Demonic Ancestral line. That's something I can't do. Now they have a hard cast Force up. I think we're going to lose here just because we did not get our spells in before they drew Ancestral. The question really is, what about that 1/4 Eolingas? No, actually, the real problem, the real thing that this game should be talked about is the bad Lurrus play. My Lurrus sequencing with Ponder was so bad, I believe it lost me the game. Do this on their turn. The Lurrus sequencing, if I had just like done the untapped time walk PO stuff, probably just straight up winning the game from there. So I really, really threw the game on that play. Obviously, it's still kind of unlucky to not have our card draw work out, but like the one play that I did make was not great. Top card is Mana Crypt. Okay, well, I definitely need to crack away from a Mana Crypt. I'm running out of time, unfortunately. I don't have much life left. Especially I'm going to get pinged here. Ancestral Recall. Oh. That is the problem of playing against Bowmasters. No! Alright. I'm going to cast Ancestral Recall. Target myself. Wait, no. I could PO just the portable hole. Draw 1. Let's PO. Is that better, though? Yeah, I guess it's better. It's PO back, portable hole. How many do I want to go down to? Should I just go down to 1? I don't want to play around a second Bowmaster no matter what. I feel like we should just go to 1. No, I guess go to 1 means I need to... I guess no matter what, I have to beat both tokens, right? So let's just go to 1. I mean, if there's another Bowmaster, I'm losing. It's fine. I'm not beating another Bowmaster, so... I guess technically I can Ancestral on the stack or something. They have Hardcast Force. So I need to draw a Swords off of this. I guess, yeah, there's no reason not to do it on the stack. I need to draw Swords off of this. I only have 1 Swords. Oh, I have no Swords left in my deck. I guess I just lose. Ugh. This was so close. I think they just drew just a little bit better than I did there. But the real problem is that bad Lurrus play. The bad Lurrus play was the real kicker. That was the one place I had to like really eke out an advantage, and I threw it away. Definitely my fault. We definitely want all the swords, and I like Flusterstorm here. I don't actually like Force of Will very much, which is interesting. Do I have enough other cards I want to get out of here, though? I just take out the Brain Surge. Seal, Negation, Needle. Yeah, I'm just going to take out Forces and this and bring in some like better cards and try to play a more... Like, I have more cantrips than my opponent. As long as I'm not like getting harassed too badly by Bowmaster and Frog, I should have a better long game than Lurrus. That game, I just got slightly tempoed out by their Ancestral Recall. I was really like 1 spell resolving away from taking that game. If they don't have Force there, I draw 3. I portable hole the thing. I snap back. You know, they drew an Orcish Bowmasters off the top that kills my Snapcaster, which gets rid of my PO draws. Like everything went really, really poorly at the end sequence there. But that's what kind of happens when your opponent resolves Ancestral Recall. Yeah, if we could go back, I want to see like exactly what the mana situation looked like for the Ponder Soul Ring section. But if I could like Ponder into Time Walk and then Lurrus, I could have like Lurrus, Lotus, Time Walk, untap, PO. Yeah, I definitely lost the game on that play, which is really sad. But I knew when I cast it, it didn't feel like the highest value line, and it really showed. I'm pretty sure I Wasteland check my opponent here. Especially on the play. It's like pretty hard for them to play through double constructs. The deck isn't really suited to beat Saga anymore. They don't have like dress downs or anything like that. So they have to have a wasteland in their opening hand, which they did. That's a pretty decent one too. So the problem here is if I get an ancestor, if I go for a basic island, I can't cast fourth or Lurrus. It's just a tundra. It's like pretty bad for them to wasteland again here because they know I'm gonna have an ancestral. I'd have another wasteland. Okay. I lost another flip. I don't understand. How can I lose every flip? That's what I have on top of my library here. Another bauble. I really don't want to draw another bauble. I'm gonna go to their turn, and so just play around negation. And then I'm gonna fetch another tundra. So if my opponent has a third wasteland, I will get blown out, but I think that's okay. I'm at 10 from my mana vault. My mana crypt, I should say. Oh, why did I do this in response to the bobble? Sorry about that. I don't know why I did that. I fetched, and I should have let this resolve and then done it. Oh, none of those are lands. I don't know why I did that. That was obviously dumb. All right, well, now I have, like, Lurrus is great. Fourth is great. I'm dying. Six cards in hand. I'm at 7 because I've lost all of my mana crypt flips. I don't have protection for this Lurrus. I don't really want to cast Probe and go to 5. Can't really play fourth around Spell Pierce here. Probably can't crack this bauble because I need the multiple mana sources. I'd like to draw a card, though. I'm just going to lose to my own mana crypt in this game. I've lost 9 life to it. Kind of need this Lurrus to be protected from Fatal Push. I don't really know if I can go to 5. I don't have Force in my deck either to pitch it to. Sure. That is the worst possible outcome. Want to flip? Another swords? Why can't I? Okay. Beat a Bowmaster here. So the question is, am I gonna swords this Bowmaster, or am I just gonna balance this Bowmaster. I mean, what's the chance my balance doesn't resolve? I'm at 5 after this. Jet. This plays around Spell Pierce too. I lose a card. They lose 2 lands in their board. They force I'm super dead to it though. Just nothing is working out. I don't know. Maybe the fetches were so bad in this game. I'm just gonna die. They just had infinite counter. I mean, I ran into Mindbreak Trap, right? It's just kind of, they don't really draw cards. They just have enough counters. I don't know. I feel like I got outmaneuvered in this game, but I also don't feel like I had, like... I also lost 12 life to my Mana Crypt. I would have a lot more... Like, this turn, I could go Swords their Bowmaster. I could take... I'm drawing planes. I Swords the Bowmaster. I take the initiative. I feel like I'm winning this game if I have 12 more life. But my Mana Crypt just loses 4 out of 5 flips? Am I crazy to think that, like, my opponent 2-for-1 themselves and wastelanded me and I had mana? I don't know. Like, they spent a bunch of cards, on my card that was from exile. Sometimes I do board out the Mana Crypt in this matchup, though. I have boarded out the Mana Crypt before. But say I, like, win half of the flips, I just have... But if I have 6 more life from this spot, I'm at 6, right? I draw planes. I Swords the Bowmaster. I cast 4 Theolingas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for 3, I attack with 1 dude, take the initiative, draw a card, hold back 2 blockers. I don't know. I just seem like they have Lurrus and 2 unknowns. Like, I feel like I'm actually in a winning position if I have just win a couple more flips. But maybe that's just wishful thinking. I also fetched, Tundra in this game and got second Wastelanded. I could have fetched basic Island or basic Plains or something. I could have fetched basic Island, right? But my hand was all full of white cards, so I didn't want to fetch basic Island. I have to go back and look to make sure if that's the case. This feels like a user problem. This feels like I made a mistake and we lost because of it. It certainly feels that way. Right? Doesn't game 1, I play a Soul Ring, it gets misstepped. It's basically the worst thing that could happen. I also get wastelanded. So, like, instead of being on the play and having a mana advantage, I lose all my mana sources. Then I have Bobble, and I crack it, and I see another Rainforest. That's good. That works out well. This Ponder baits a Bowmaster. That's fine. Swords the Bowmaster. Have double basic. Okay, it was this play, though. Like, I like keeping Lotus Sapphire here. My opponent is on very little resources. We just go in on this Lurrus. But the problem is, I should have fetched to get rid of the cards here, and then cast Ponder. Because if I cast Ponder, this is, like, so simple. This is the biggest mistake from game 1, and I knew it right after we did it, but I didn't know why. It's because I wasn't thinking about the breadth of cards that Ponder could see. And this Ponder, I actually hovered over Ponder for a second and then chose not to. But if this Ponder I Ponder first and I see Time Walk outcome. And so what I could have done is, instead of bobbling, I could get back Soul Ring. Sorry, no, I'd have I could get back Soul Ring. No, wait, Soul Ring doesn't do it. Hold on. Do I have to get back Lotus? It's like a little worse. I have to get back Lotus. I Ponder, and then I use all the mana. So I would have 1 mana. Okay, so I have 1 mana. Yeah. Okay, so instead of getting back that, I have to get back Black Lotus, and I cast Time Walk. But then, on my next turn, I untap, I attack with Lurrus, I bring back Soul Ring, and I cast PO. I draw a land, and I cast PO for 1, 2, 3, 4. Replay my Lurrus, get back another card, and I'm definitely winning this game. Assuming they don't have a force, but I don't know. They didn't play this game out like they had a force, right? Oh no, they did have a force later. So maybe they let Lurrus resolve because they had a fatal push. So in the theory that they have a force, my PO gets forced, and I'm instead my Lurrus brings back a bauble anyways and draws 1 more card, and then I get fatal pushed. So yeah, like from this spot, I feel like I'm winning a lot of games too. They have 1 card and no Lurrus. We have 1 card and no Lurrus. Obviously, this portable hole is super aggressive, but it fixes me for red. And then the question was just, do I play around second Fatal Push or first Spell Pierce? And the answer might have just been Fatal Push instead of Spell Pierce. Looking back at this game, they don't really have an opportunity to Spell Pierce me. But, like, it's equally likely that they have a Fatal Push. 1, 2, yeah. I think I'm just supposed to play around Spell Pierce and hope they don't have... But then, actually, the problem with that line is they get to attack and take the Monarch back, right? Oh, no, they don't have the Monarch. Yeah, this should have probably been play around Fatal Push, not Spell Pierce. I don't know. That one's close. I don't feel like that one's a big deal. That one is a 50-50. It's a 50-50 on paper, and then it's just like you have to make a read. They've had 1 card before this turn, and... they top decked 1 blank card. You just have to make a read. Yeah, that one I'm not as concerned about. The Lurrus play is the one I'm really dislike. This one, my opponent casts Demonic Ancestral, draws 2 blanks. I go PO plus... I go Snap PO. Other options here were Snap Time Walk, which sounds really bad. Snap 4th, which is worse than Snap PO. If they have a counterspell, like PO and 4th are both getting hit by the same counterspells, but I would rather be able to PO back a Snapcaster. Like, PO back a Snapcaster is definitely winning. I could theoretically have gone Snap Ponder here, but, like, they're also just as likely to draw a negation as they are to draw a Spell Pierce from this spot. So it's not really, like, a huge play, and PO is definitely game winning. Yeah, I don't mind that one either. And then they just untap and they slam a Bowmaster. Kill the thing, and then I just don't have the action. And then before I draw action, they drew Force, right? I drew actually Ancestral PO, which is pretty good. But at this point, they have just drawn a Force. And I'm dead from the Force. Yeah. This game... obviously, this 4th call is like something that was a choice, but I don't feel like it's a misplay. I feel like it's just unfortunate. Whereas this Lurrus play was a misplay and was... it's not to say it would have won the game, because my opponent can absolutely have forced blue card Fatal Push here. But it definitely would have put me in a much, much, much better spot. So... and we would be like 1 card deeper too. So theoretically, we would draw the Ancestral one turn earlier. You know, I think this game 1 should have been a victory if I played better. Let's look at game 2. Game 2, I like if I'm keeping Mana Crypt in, which I still kind of like keeping Mana Crypt in. Obviously, there are some downsides, but enabling a start like this is really, really strong. This is just a supreme Wasteland check. If my opponent kept a hand without Wasteland, they probably are just losing the game straight up to this. So I don't have a problem with this. And also, like, our dual lands get more protected later. So here comes the first question, though. So none of my dual lands can fetch basic planes. So my thought process was, I got Wastelanded once, I'm ahead on mana, I'm going to get a Tundra and go forward that way. if I get a Tundra here and play Merchant Scroll for an Ancestral, and my opponent Wastelands me again, they're still behind on mana by 3, and I have an Ancestral coming. So I feel like getting a Tundra makes sense here. If I had a Flooded Strand instead, then maybe making an island makes sense, because then on my Flooded Strand, I can get a Plains later. Obviously, it slows down my Lurrus, and it slows down my Forthalingas, so there's downsides to that. I don't really feel like getting a Tundra here was that bad. I was like obviously surprised and a bit about that. And then this was obviously incorrect sequencing. I was supposed to fetch and then draw a card and then Ancestral. It wouldn't actually matter to me in any way because I don't play forces here post board. And I'm just trying to resolve this. I'm at 10 life on their turn 3 upkeep because why? Because I lost Mana Crypt, I fetched twice, and I played Mental Misstep. Interesting. And then from there, I've resolved an Ancestral, but I didn't draw any lands. So I have to play Opal. I'm at 7 life because I lost a 3rd Mana Crypt flip. And my opponent has 6 cards in hand still. Like, of course they can have multiple forces in their hand because they have 6 cards if they haven't done anything in this game besides Wasteland me. Like, I have a huge graveyard, but all my opponent's really done is Wasteland me. There's no way I can play around a Mindbreak Trap while still activating my Opal. So really, it's just like, am I supposed to play a Ponder or a Probe first? I feel like probing here is not good. Even if it lets me play around Mindbreak Trap. But this Mindbreak Trap is pretty backbreaking because they don't even have to invest a Force or a Fatal Push or anything. It's just a free Mindbreak Trap on Lurrus. But I'm not really sure we could have realistically played around that. Not with the life total we were at. We finally do win our Crypt Flip here, and then I have I want to play around I want to play around Bowmaster and Negation. And so I bait my opponent into a Bowmaster with a Ponder. But I guess the question is, should I just Swords this Bowmaster anyways? If I Swords this Bowmaster, does that draw a negation from them? I still have to beat a 1/1 here. It's not exactly easy. So theoretically here, I could have helped play around. The problem is I don't have a follow-up balance, right? So if I get countered, it's still just the same bad problem for me, no matter what. Well, I could hit the other white source with the Ponder, which is what happens. So theoretically, I can Swords here, and I can draw the Ponder. I can draw the other planes, and then I can still balance if I want to. Though, if they Swords me, they're at 1 card, and they have a 1/1, so balancing is pretty poor. But I might just have to get rid of their one thing. And then the balancing is still pretty good, depending on which. I guess a land means they only lose 1 land, though. So they lose 1 land, and I keep 4th. I mean, that could be winning. So maybe the play here is, I mean, I think it's a second iteration of not thinking about what's coming off the Ponder. Because if I, theorize like what can I draw on these Ponders, then I would have maybe made different choices, right? It's hard to think about that kind of stuff, but yeah, this ends up. Well, I'm also thinking about playing around Spell Pierce. I forgot. I'm also thinking about playing around Spell Pierce. So I actually get Jet, which lets me play instead of Plains, which lets me play, which makes my balance really strong here. By getting Jet, I go balance. They lose their whole board. They lose 2 lands. They lose. I lose a card. But if they have Force, I lose the game. So. And then I just like lose another Crypt Flip. So I lost 4 out of 5. and lost 12 life. But if I don't, I mean, they have Lurrus in hand +2. We have swords 4th. We have the lands to play 1 swords and 4th. I don't feel like it's that bad of a spot. Again, Mana Crypt gives me some power, but obviously can come at the cost. I'm not like super hung up on this game too here. It was really awkward game. I think the thing that I dislike the most is this Lurrus play. And both instances were problems with ponder where I wasn't thinking about how the cards in my ponder could influence my future play. Especially this one. I was just dead set on returning Bobble, but I didn't really think about, oh, what if I do Time Walk? But that's another reason that I should be casting Ponder first to give me more options. Okay. Yeah. Can't be super unhappy about losing games where you make this kind of plays, so good lessons learned. All right, here we go with the 6th and final round of this vintage challenge. Obviously, it has not gone as I intended, but we're making a little bit of a rally here and obviously learning a lot along the way. Can't be upset about that. And we got one more Lurrus Mirror to go for. See what kind of, probably another Dimir Lurrus deck. I do feel that I wouldn't have played this deck if I thought it had a bad Dimir Lurrus matchup. I think it has a lot of the tools that you really want when you play the deck. Obviously, you are kind of weak to Bowmaster, but you have so much removal. You actually have a more succinct card draw engine. You have much more card draw than your Lurrus opponent. So you can go way over the top with 4th and PO. So as long as you don't get pigeonholed on mana by Wastelands or, by life totals, I feel like it's a nice spot, but we'll have to see. Opponent's got a Lurrus. We've got a decent hand, but a hand that does have some problems. They have a Wasteland on top. Yeah, that's about right. Well, the good news is I have an Ancestral in my hand, if this resolves. Theoretically, when you're on the play and you have a Sapphire and your opponent Wastelands your Tundra on the draw and you have an Ancestral, it should end up being in a spot where you're favored, but it hasn't been the case the last couple times we've tried. If we don't draw a land here, we probably have to cast Ancestral on our turn, turning on their negation. Huh. Mana Crypt is very interesting here. Does it make more sense to cast Brain Surge then? Draw 4. Put 2 back. Okay, so we're drawing all of our cards in this game, it looks like, but we did hit mana sources, which is nice. I'm probably not want balance, but unless we cast Dig Through Time beforehand, we're still gonna draw the balance. I want to play this. I want to play this. So we just put the swords back. I mean, I'm just probably gonna Ancestral on their upkeep, so I'm gonna draw through these cards no matter what. While they're tapped out. Look, this is the kind of advantage you can get by being this deck over your. I mean, I guess Brain Surge is a bit of an anomaly, but I'm an anomaly. There's a world where maybe you could just Ancestral on your turn there, but I guess I actually haven't hit many land drops, so I could theoretically balance in this game. I mean, we're definitely gonna play this at instant speed. See what's on the top of my deck. See what changes what I'm doing. Ruby. So how much mana do I have? I have 5 mana. I have Snap Ancestral, Snap Brain Surge. If I Snap Ancestral, I can pay for a Spell Pierce. Okay. I'm gonna go to their turn. I'm gonna Snap an Ancestral Recall. I want to try to get as much card drawing done before they start bowmastering me is kind of my plan. Okay. I've resolved 2 Ancestral Recalls in this game. Is that enough? They have 8 cards in hand. Look at my hand. Okay. It's pretty good. I can still balance them, which is kind of funny. If I play a land and I don't know. I'm probably gonna swords. I have a lot of tools here. I don't have a PO though. I have a dig. I have a Lurrus Bauble coming as well. Bowmaster is still really good against us. Vexing Bauble. Yeah, I'll misstep it. I don't really want to misstep it, but it's definitely a misstep. I should definitely misstep. Oh, they're gonna Spell Pierce back up here. I mean, I have 2 portable holes in my deck. If I let this happen, it means I get to resolve a Dig Through Time or a Lurrus. The Lurrus doesn't really do anything with a Bauble in play, though. So I'm willing to just pitch force on it. If they want to force back, that doesn't seem like as big a deal, but all right. I want a crit flip. We're back. Oh, chat! I got maximum punished. I could have just let it resolve. 5 cards in hand, huh? This just looks like a Lurrus angle. I guess now they have force for my Lurrus, but I could always dig into another force too. Let's see what we're looking at on the top here. A PO. I want that. I guess that means I'm not digging though. Bowmaster right there would be kind of interesting. Shoots Lurrus twice. Maybe that's a mistake. I like to practice by playing at like a pretty reasonable pace, especially when I'm streaming. But if I was playing in paper, I would definitely take these choices a bit slower. They put a card on top with that, and then they cast Fatal Push. On my Lurrus. Yeah, I guess I'll just go digging. If they want to Spell Pierce here... Would I even force this, though? Do I even care? I wonder if I was even supposed to play Lurrus, because I could have just dug on that turn and found a PO and gone for the win. Probably wasn't. This is fine. I actually don't care. It's kind of weird, because normally you want a Snapcaster attack here, but because we have 4th, we actually don't want a Snapcaster attack here. So I still have dig. I mean, I'm just going to PO and see where we land. All right. Force. I kind of felt like that might have been the case. I don't really know if I played it. I would probably play this differently if given a chance, but that's okay. We draw through our deck and then we 4th them and kill them on this turn. This is a pretty reasonable example of maybe it's not a super reasonable example, but this is kind of an example of why I feel like this deck could have game against Lurrus decks, going so far over the top in terms of power while still having like this very succinct card draw engine. That being said, we did draw like Mox, Ancestral, Mana Crypt, Brain Surge, so we high rolled a bit to get to a spot we were in. But like the concept of what I'm trying to do with this deck versus Lurrus seems to be pretty on this way there. All right, I want to just bring in Flusters and Removal. And Soul Guide Lantern. And then take out Forces and... What's the other card I was taking out? Oh, Brain Surge because of Bowmaster, but maybe that's not actually a good reason. Could take out the Mana Crypt. Sometimes I do take out the Mana Crypt. I don't like it, though. I think I'd rather take out Brain Surge and just play more removal, better counter magic. I don't really want to be 2-for-1ing myself with Forces, but then again, like, I could theoretically get away with 2-for-1ing myself with Forces because of how much card draw I have. The thing is, I want all of these other cards. Every card in here does, you know, I guess the engine going. We haven't seen any frogs from our opponents yet, but frog is a really big pressure point in this matchup that I need to be able to remove as well. Though getting a volcanic early might be a problem here. Let's see what happens. Pass. Ancestral upkeep would be bad for me. Fluster of my own. Interesting. Definitely not super into the idea of pondering. I also have the problem again of if I fetch basic island, I don't have my white source, but I want to fetch basic island. This Lorien reveal. Oh, nice Undercity Sewers. I considered like a blue-red or blue-white land in this deck as well. I don't feel that I want to actually attack Ponder. I do need this Flusterstorm to try to like make my spells resolve because I'm taking out forces. So to do that, I need to make sure my mana base is still good. Opponent did not shuffle and did not play a fetch. Okay. I'm gonna definitely wait an additional turn before doing anything with fourth. Just a ponder here. Saga, Tundra, Brainstorm. Yeah, I like that. Don't really need the Brainstorm, but I definitely want to keep hitting my land drops in this game. Wasteland, lose my Volcanic. That's fine, because I'm going to have a bunch of lands coming. Are you interested in playing a Frog? Portal Hold not very good against Bowmaster, but good against Frog, though. The question becomes, do they have another Wasteland? I'm going to play a little safer on this Saga and see if I can bait a second Wasteland. Yeah. Gonna scare them off with a Swords representation here. No, they're not scared. Oh, Vexing Bauble. Yeah, I mean, I boarded out my forces, so... Oh, I do want to fetch away from the... Is it Plains? Is it gonna be Plains? No, it's gotta be... It's gotta be Tundra? It's gotta be Tundra. Fetch away from that Brainstorm, though. I immediately drew a card that gets bobbled. Saga going. Now, if they have a third Wasteland, well, whoops. Crack Bobble. Try to find Wasteland. How much do you value this Bobble? I don't even have Enforceable in my deck. No, chat! That's crazy. I just got. All right. I'm gonna get rid of the bauble so I can play this Mox. I mean, Wasteland is a pain. Maybe I'm. Hmm. Unfortunately, I'm out of lands. So, like, I kind of need this Mox. Also, like, if they crack in response, I can just pick up this portable hole later. And then I don't see myself casting Fluster. I would rather just pick up the Lurrus right now. Like, what am I flustering on their turn here? I guess if they top deck Ancestral and they haven't chosen to play it this whole time. But, no! No! That's the only one! That's the only one that matters! It's so... And now they're gonna, like, Treasure Cruise and I'm gonna die. Okay, no, I probably should not have put Lurrus in my hand then. I mean, it's the things to think about. It's the fourth Wasteland! I'm getting bullied. I'm being bullied. I don't even have anything good to play with this Lurrus. It was just a terrible play. It was actually an awful play. But then again, if my opponent just like plays Wasteland on their turn and casts Ancestral, I can't fluster it anyways. So it's not like it really was a huge difference, but like I can't believe I pondered and kept 2 lands in this game and I'm still getting Wasteland locked out of the game. Isn't that just absurd? I'm I think even if I had fetched basics, it wouldn't have mattered. I don't know. Did I really play this game awful? Like, was it really a problem with how I played the game? I could have fetched basic. But I, I don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever. You got it. You bested me. Okay, all right, it's fine. We'll try again. We'll try again. Am I supposed to bring in Needle just for Wasteland? Like, is it really that bad that I just need to have Needle for Wasteland? Or is that just... I have 2 basics. I guess I didn't fetch my basics, though, Justin. You didn't fetch your basics, so... But wasn't my reasoning for not fetching basics, like, pretty okay? I even played a land to, like, bait the second Wasteland so my Saga would survive, but little did I know there'd be 5 Wasteland effects. It's not like I could tutor for this Needle. I don't know. I don't really like it. But maybe it's just stubborn, Justin. Well, that hand's garbage. Well, that hand's all in. All right. Have you ever wanted to cast all the cards? I sure have. Survey says. Of course. Mindbreak Trap. It's a good one to know about. They can get wastelanded. They played turn 1 Frog this time, though. Oh, my lord. Okay, so if I... This makes 2 mana. This makes 3 mana. I still need to play 1 Mox. So I can play around Mindbreak Trap. I just have to not play Bobble out. I really can't afford it to be Mindbreak Trap. But I also can't afford, like, if my opponent counters my Lurrus, so... Like, if my opponent removes my Lurrus after this... Like, I can't play this Bobble into Mindbreak Trap. So I just have to pass and hope they don't have a removal spell. My opponent's not going to trap the Opal when they have a Bobble in my yard. What? I should have probably played the Opal anyways, though. Because I don't want to turn on Mindbreak Trap next turn, so... I should probably play the Opal. Not for the reason you're saying. Just because I should have played it so I don't get Mindbreak Trap on the next turn. Oh, no push, no push. Probably just have Bowmaster, right? Are they have a negation? Are they going to negate my Bobble? Oh, okay. Spell Pierce. I guess if I draw... If they have a Bowmaster, I'm losing my Lurrus anyways, right? So shouldn't I just attack with my Lurrus? Like, if they have a Bowmaster, they play Bowmaster on their turn, and then they shoot my Lurrus, and I draw a card, and they shoot my Lurrus, right? So shouldn't I just attack with my Lurrus for lifelink? Okay, so now they're not drawing Spell Pierce. I already did. We both have the same card in play. Theirs is a Psychic Frog and mine is a Lurrus. Theirs draws immediately, though. All this work to play Lurrus when I could have just played a Psychic Frog? Shame on me. I definitely don't want that card. They're probably holding up as something. I mean, the minute they draw Bowmaster, I lose. There's like nothing I can do about this either. Because like it's gonna happen on the upkeep no matter what. I still have to draw with this Bobble too. Oh, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to teach you. Time Walk is on the top of their library. Wait. Did I not Bobble then? Who did I Bobble myself? Oh, I Bobbled myself and I fetched. I mean, they don't draw cards and then they all of a sudden just naturally draw the card that matters. Isn't that sad? like it's not like they're casting a bunch of draw spells. I guess they are. They're frogging. What am I talking about? I'm just complaining. I'm just being a complainer. They've frogged every turn in this game. But that also just means that like I haven't drawn the right cards either. Yep. 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 By Lurrus. Bobble Lurrus. I lose. Okay, maybe I completely misevaluated this matchup. Maybe it's completely unplayable and I wasn't. What am I talking about? Yeah, but like if I don't put the amount of mana I have in my deck, then I get wastelanded out of the game, you know? I can draw I can draw a balance. Balance would be good. They still have Mindbreak Trap. They have 7 cards in hand. Does that win? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Doesn't win. I'm not playing Bobble for Storm. My opponent has a Mindbreak Trap in hand. It's unfortunate because if I could play Bobble, it's actually +1 mana too. But I need to be able to beat a single counter spell. This is technically an attack where they have to block. Why are you showing off, man? All right. They're gonna draw 2 more cards. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. I don't know. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. This game was over a couple turns ago. They might just kill me with Frog. I don't know. I mean, I presented a lethal attack. That's kind of sick, right? Like I had nothing left and I presented a lethal attack. It's pretty good. It's not like I'm supposed to mulligan this hand. Like, my hand was good. I played a turn 1 PO for 3 and I had comeback chances with Lurrus plus Bobble. It didn't work. Well, they just opted not to even pump Frog at all. Seiju, the card that doesn't do anything against Wasteland. Bold. All right, my opponent just tutored for a counter spell though, so we are once again dead. They also have Hardcast Mindbreak Trap and double Wasteland, and they don't even. They're just not even Wastelanding my Tolarian Academy. It just doesn't matter. All right, so I start with a balance, and then I play a Black Lotus. Got him. Like I drew some of the cards. I just drew them all too late for it to matter. Oh, they have Hardcast Force and Mindbreak Trap. Yes, okay. 4 Theolingas work here? No, it doesn't work here. It's okay. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about this matchup. To be fair, I didn't have a swords for the Frog. I have how many removal spells? I have 7 removal spells for Frog, and I didn't have them. I spent a couple turns drawing with Bobble and Lurrus, but we just kind of drew more mana, right? But like we drew mana and then they drew Bowmaster and we died. Wow. I feel like this deck has a lot of action, but obviously it has a lot of mana too. The problem is if you do anything less, if you do any amount of mana less than this, you'll just get wastelanded out of the game. So like, you have to do this much mana. 26? That's not that much. Like if I don't put this much mana in the deck, we can't play the game against Wasteland at all. And then we have 4 Ponder, 4 PO, 2 Delve spells. Like we didn't cast any Delve spells in either of the Lurrus matchups, right? That kind of feels like the problem. If I'm going like, you know, PO into Lurrus Bobble, and then I draw a Delve spell, isn't that just a completely different game? Like I draw a delve spell, I get swords and a ponder or something. I swords their draw engine is taken out completely. Even simply just drawing one of my 6 removal spells for their frog immediately is going to put me in a really good spot. I just feel like those games were really bad variants. Like, there were definitely spots where we could have, made better plays that gave us a little bit higher percentages, but in general, those aren't really like I'm putting the deck into spots where I think we're favored, where like we've exhausted our opponents of resources. We have a great deck full of draw engines, and it's just not really working. Don't know. I don't know. This was a 2-4, right? And there were some definitely game plays that were extremely poor, but in general, I just don't feel like we had the right cards to win some of these games. Don't know. Have to play more to figure out if it's variance or not. Because like the games that we were losing today were definitely games I was winning on Thursday. There were a lot of games where I exchanged cards with Lurrus, and then I am the one in the driver's seat because I have Ponders, Delve Spells, POs, Fourth Aeolingas, Baubles. Like, those were the games that I was winning on the other day, so I'm not sure if I want to chalk it all up to variance because there were definitely some amount of misplays, but I do feel like some of it was variance. Either way, I do like this deck, and I really think there is there should be a conceptual Lurrus deck that goes over the top of the blue black and Esper Lurrus opponents. You get the good removal spells, you deal with their frog, and you have a better draw engine, and you have higher payoff spells. Theoretically, this should work in my mind, but we'll have to see going forward. Thank you for watching. More YouTube content like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.